Russia. I am Bryn, and I will be commentating tonight. Hopefully Delta should be joining, but let's get into this qualifying session. As we see, all the drivers now will be putting setups on. Hopefully it is a dry race, but we never know around Singapore. There can be many things that happen around this tight street circuit. So, as we see, the drivers have still got the softs on from when they first loaded into the game, but Nano Bacon is on the mediums, as we do see a McLaren is heading out the pit lane now to be the first car out on track. Well, no, that just gets taken off of him by the Haas of, is it Cherry 2 Pie? Yes, it is Cherry 2 Pie. That will be the first car on the track. Heading out the pit lane now. Shalom Alpha in the chat. As we now see the drivers heading down the back straight. So the Singapore street circuit was first built in 2008 with the full 100% distance. It's a 308-kilometer race, but of course that is going to be halved because we do 50% races. So you're thinking there it's going to be 154 kilometers the drivers are going to have to navigate round for the whole race. As we now see under the dazzling light, the Haas going under the bridge there. Hello, Big C. As we're still waiting for the drivers to get round to start a lap. Cherry 2 Pie, of course, leading this, so I will go on board with him to start his lap. Of course, putting the car into hot lap mode, and he's gonna go for it now. Coming around the final corner, a very fast final corner. Pushing a bit wide there, but DRS open, heading down the main straight now. Coming into turn 1, braking just about between the 150 meter boards. Keeping it very tight, going down to first gear, trying to get that rotation, as that Haas is notorious because it has got very low downforce compared to something like the Mercedes. You do need to use the gears to try and rotate it. Going now down the back straight, the second DRS zone. Braking yet again between the 100 meter boards and the 50 as he spins. Oh, that would have cost him. As I'm now going to go on board with Three Gloves, who is behind, locking up, holding third through there. That McLaren looking a bit tough to handle, but it's looking quite good from Three Gloves. He's doing a decent job right now to keep that McLaren in the track. Another slight lock up there, as you heard, but coming through here now, holding fort to try and keep the car with traction so it doesn't wheel spin, but locking up there, costing quite a bit of time. That could have done with DRS now wide open. Can he get a bit of a slipstream off of that Haas with him being an optimal sort of zone? But now through the third sector he will get some dirty air, which could cost them now. So coming into there very clean, could hug a bit more there, but it's very hard around this street. So now we're going under the bridge, very close to that Haas now, so dirty air is going to be hurting them, but notoriously coming to the final corner now. What lap time can they set? Most likely will be the fastest lap, but yes, with a 35.8 as we now go on board with Nano Bacon coming across the line in the racing point. Goes with a 36.6 on the medium tyre as Tom AJ goes second in the AlphaTauri, and now CPI Black Phoenix goes second with a 35.9. Oi oi. As now also Dre Bay in the Renault comes across, and Uki Azim goes with a 36.3. But I'm just going to go on board with Mr. B-Boy1. What can he do in that racing point on the medium tyres? A 36.8 going just behind his teammate. Both drivers starting on the mediums for their first run. Could be a sign of things to come for them, as Cedric has invalidated his lap. But that looks like nobody here is on a lap. No, nobody right now is on a lap. Most drivers will be on in-laps, but Skeven is on their out lap right now on the mediums in the Williams. What can they do? As we're now coming down the back sort of straight, still waiting to start the lap, taking a very slow out lap. Of course, you want to preserve them tyres and get out of other drivers' way, because you don't want to block a driver, because this track is very notorious for being tight, so you can't get out the way in many places. But now, as we are going to head under the bridge, heading towards the final few corners, going to start the lap, putting it into hot lap mode. As now we head down final corner, trying to carry as much speed as possible without losing the back end. DRS wide open as we now head down towards turn 1. Very clean there from the Williams driver. Now heading into turn 3 or 4. It's actually turn 5, sorry. Heading down to turn 7 now with DRS wide open, burning out that ERS as braking heavily. Purple sector 1 according to the game. So that's interesting. A Williams with a purple sector 1. But they have seemed to back off on their lap. So very interesting. Let's see, the closest driver to starting another lap is Greeny, who is on his out lap right now in that Alfa Romeo Orlan Racing Ferrari powered car. As I think Delta is now here. Hello, Delta.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry to butt in there, but Greeny has just had a slight issue there. He tapped the wall, then was going to go in the pit lane, but now carries on with his lap. So that's not the best start to a lap. But let's see what he can do. Taking a clean line through there. Quite slow, but hello, Delta. Most importantly.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm a little bit too late to the quali. Obviously, just a little issue with the game, but it's fixed, so I'm back now.
Yeah, just Bugmaster's back at it again, affecting more people. But have you got any predictions going into tonight? Because of course you weren't here last week at Russia, but from if you saw any of the race, what would you predict is going to happen?
Well, Russia and Singapore are completely different tracks, but from how when I watched the race last week, a couple of drivers that I'm not too sure on who won last week from my memory, because I just watched a little bit of the stream, but for this race I can see a lot of battles happening. I can see a lot of guys, a couple of people like J. Ray Bay and maybe Will. There's a few people that I'm looking at right now that I think could do well for this race, but don't want to jinx them too much right now. We're only just in the quali, but it's a very tricky one.
Yes, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how the outcomes happen, sort of thing. But of course, we've got 18 drivers on track right now, and only 2 of them in the pit lane, so it's very tight in some places. But it seems at the moment the part between the middle sector does seem to be quite quiet. So the Haas driver seems to be pretty clear, set in purple sector 1 according to the game, but I think that must be a glitch because almost everybody now has got a purple sector, as AMS in the Ferrari goes quickest with a 35.715, so very good.
Nice.
But I'm going to go back on board with the Haas, heading through the tightest section of the track. the easiest section to also get invalidated, because if you go too much over the curb, you will get invalidation. But hooking it tight, getting on the traction as early as possible. DRS zone very early on in the traction zone, so that could cause an issue for some drivers. But the Haas drivers supposedly also purple in sector 2. So could we see a Haas going for pole right now?
That would change it up a lot though, seeing a Haas on a pole, you wouldn't really see it. Especially in a realistic performance, but it's looking like a pretty solid lap though.
Well, no,
So
there
it
was
could be pole.
yeah. Well, no, there was a slight lock-up which could cause a few issues as he has backed off of his lap. But I'm going to go on the board with the Red Bull of Black Phoenix, who is now coming towards the final corner. Of course, the Red Bull being probably one of the best cars for. There you go,
Nice.
he gets pole, 35.2. Very best for downforce and everything, but the Mercedes is very much the Red Bull, but also got a better engine, which makes it that much better. But I'm now gonna go on board with, is it?
I think it's Julfin. He's coming up.
S3 Gloves has just now gone on pole with a 35.0.
Getting quicker.
Very much so. But next over the line, will we
Maybe
see?
Oogie.
As Skeven has retired
That's
from the
J-Ray.
session. Yeah,
J-Ray,
J-Ray.
5th.
Yeah, he has got up to 5th place. But Skeven, most importantly, has retired from this session. Is there any...
3rd, Mr. B-Boy Worm got on the Racing Point of 135.5.
Very interesting.
Lap.
Very good. So I'm just going to go on board with Cedric, who's now in the final sector of the track, coming into the final corner, carrying as much speed as possible. Cutting that corner slight bit could cost him validation, but no. A 35.399 in the Ferrari, a very good lap from the driver there. Human fish put Bugmaster's Law. And Skeven, Greeny has blood on his hands for putting me in the Williams. Oh dear. Somebody is not happy. We have not got a happy driver. Oh dear.
It's looking very interesting between the top 3. We've got a McLaren, a Red Bull and a Ferrari. And they know themselves that they can go quicker, potentially. So it'll be interesting, especially...
Oh! Will just had a complete drift in the final corner there.
He's in the Williams. He's in the Williams, wow.
I was going to say, if this was Formula Drift, it would have been good for him, but sadly it's not, it's Formula 1, so that is not going to help him out at all. As we know, on board with Dino, who started a lap on the medium compounds in that Mercedes. The black Mercedes looking stunning tonight under the stars. But now as we head through the DRS straight, heading towards turn 7 now, can we see a decent first sector from the Mercedes driver, sorry. Have I got George Russell vibes there, as they have invalidated?
It's not what you want.
No.
Especially around here, but he's in the Merc, so he's got 4 minutes. He's still got time to turn the modes down and go for another slow lap. I'm just making sure that everything's fair on my end and it's good. But what are your predictions, Bryn? Because you asked me mine, but what about yours? What's
it's going to be very interesting, but they have actually changed up quite a bit now. After seeing multiple drivers' laps coming out from them now, it started to change up. So I'm thinking that we could maybe see either a McLaren or a Ferrari on the podium, most likely. Because look at the Ferraris sat there in P3 and P5. Could we see a Ferrari double podium? It's very magical seeing the red cars up on the podium, as we see from Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc here back in 2019. But very interesting to see, as I'm now going to go on board with Oogie just quickly before I carry on my prediction. Now starting their lap, as my game has decided to change a driver.
Oh, and Oogie actually.
Yeah,
sorry to just
I'm just on
jump
board
in.
with him.
He got a P3 last week.
Yeah, it could be very.
At Russia. So he'll be one to watch. He's been very good this season from his results I've been looking at. So yeah, he'll be one of them that we'll need to watch out for this race. He's looking like he's got some good pace.
Yeah, he does. He does look very good. as we do see the AlphaTauri is very much one of the mid-pack cars here this weekend, with of course the Red Bull and the Mercedes of course being the highest downforce putting out cars here, and the Williams being the worst. But it's very interesting to see what will happen. But the performance order is of course Mercedes first, Red Bull, then Racing Point, Renault, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Ferrari, then Haas, Alfa and Williams are roughly all within the same sort of window. So anybody who's in them cars are basically just as bad as each other. Well, not just as bad, I mean just as good as each other sort of thing, because they're the same cars. Effect. Well, not same. I don't know where I'm coming from right now, but you get what I'm saying. Is that they're all at the same sort of performance level?
Yeah, they're almost alike some parts, depending on the track. That is car performance, but he looked like he's on a solid lap right now. Fourth. I was watching his lap. He looked like he was sliding a few on the exit curbs. Not even touching the curves, but he was losing a lot of slides. So we can like talk on what you were saying earlier, Formula Drift. Yeah.
Is Tom AJ's now going to finish their lap? Oh no, they're starting a lap. Sorry, my fault there. But as I'm going to go on board with Sam T, who is on the medium tyres, so it invalidates his lap time. Sam shakes the wheel there. That could be in anger of himself
frustration.
Yeah, frustration. As he just
when
bins
your
it,
back isn't the pits. Oh, and he didn't.
Retires, retires from the session. Oh dear, Sam.
Fuming.
We're on board with Greeny now, as the game has put us onto him. So, as AMS has gone faster. Oh no, is that? Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he just got that there.
By 200s between him and Three Gloves. Very close between the two drivers there.
We got Black Phoenix a 10th up right now, coming through this last corner now. He gets pole.
The Red Bull.
34.9. Nice.
Very decent from the Red Bull driver.
Red Bull's looking like it's doing very well tonight for the qualifying. Just trying to see if anyone's really close to lap, but literally everyone's out, so it's hard to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Cherry's starting on his lap.
Will is now on his lap on the soft tyres, as he is invalidated. Oh dear.
CC Brain?
Gone to board with CC Brain on the medium tyres. Backs off.
3 times up. He was 3 times up, but he stayed where he was. The Alfa Romeo will be a hard car to get up the grid, especially in the qualifying. So, fortunate for him though. But top 10 in Alfa Romeo is pretty good. Proud of himself for that.
Very much. Can we see a Haas now get into the top 10 on the medium tyres? Looking like a good a lap from Cherry to Pie right now, as Greeny goes 11th, taking that off of Cherry to Pie. The next driver close to finishing a lap, Black Phoenix, is on their in lap. So if I go on with J Ray Bay, now coming
still
through.
A tongue twister name.
Yes, sorry. I managed to mess up some of the easiest names, but now coming into the final sector and the final corner. Carrying as much speed as possible in that Renault, going up to P8.
Wow. Fantastic.
As the next driver we'll see cross the line will be Pip Matt. As there is a slight bit of, as Duofin is in the wall. What has Duofin done?
Interesting.
Three Gloves is taken pole off of Black Phoenix with a 34.8. Very good lap from the McLaren driver, as Pitmat now jumps up to P12. But can Dino do anything in that Mercedes?
He's looking like he's having a lot of slide as well on the exits. But this might be a full lap right here.
Oh, is he invalidated?
Oh, he got invalid.
Oh, that is
Oh, it stopped raining as well. in the qualifying, it looks.
Oh
Is
god, it
it?
has. It has started raining.
Oh, I
Very
thought I was
interesting.
just seeing things there. That was weird.
No,
That
it
was
has
weird.
started raining. You can see it on the halo. Okay, you can say
Interesting.
like Dre Bay in his. Ah, okay.
Drapery.
Dre Bay. Dre Bay. Bay. Dre Bay. As it is raining now.
I wonder what the race will be like though. Because the race, if it's wet, we'll have an amazing race in our hands. If it's wet.
Yes. But I'm gonna take that away that it couldn't. That I don't think it is gonna rain because the fact of drivers trying to qualify on the medium tyres, as we see only 13 out of the 18 drivers have actually set a lap time. So that is a very interesting to say the least. But we do
Hopefully
have
Mercs as well.
3 gloves on pole, Black Phoenix second, AMS 97 F1 in third, B-Boy Worm in fourth, Cedric fifth, Oogie sixth, Nano Bacon seventh, eighth Dre Bay, ninth Tom AJ, and 10th CC Brain. Then the only drivers outside the top 10 that set a lap time were Cherry 2 Pie, Pitmat, and Greenie.
Very solid qualifying. I'm happy I actually made it just before it was about to end. But Bryn, I'm gonna have to ask you that question. Predictions for the race now. From what we've seen in quality, what do you think about the race?
Very interesting. Drivers outside the top 10 most likely will start on the medium tyres. We might even see the odd driver on the hards, which could be very interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. But I could definitely see it's going to be. I think we will see a McLaren on the podium, or at least one or two Ferraris, because both drivers being up there, it's going to be very interesting to say the least. I don't want to put too many predictions out there because I don't want to give the commentators curse. Because I don't want to
Could
be
be.
held accountable to any driver for having the commentators curse and end up bottling it. As I've just
Yes.
noticed, Mercedes garage, the tyres in the pit lane have changed to the hard compound. I've never noticed that before. Very,
Yeah,
very interesting.
it's interesting. So their strategy might just be go for the one stop, but I'm not too familiar with the strategy runs Singapore, but it could be just a well. Let's look at the merit drivers. What tires have they stuck on now? So they're stuck on the mediums.
Yeah, but
So they might just
most
be going for a one stop
yeah,
potentially.
but we do see the top 9 all on the softs, but CC Brain obviously qualified on the mediums. So we have CC Brain, Cherry 2 Pie, Greenie, Skeven, Jofin, and Dino, so both Mercedes on the medium compound. But then also we have Pitmat, Sam, and Will all on the hards. So that's going to be very interesting. They're going to want to go late on in that Grand Prix to either fit on a set of mediums, or a set of softs. So it could be very interesting to see. But most likely will be a one stop for the drivers, but this is a very long race, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Any predictions from your side about what's going to happen in the race?
Well, the Red Bull is very good from track like cornery kind of tracks, if you get what I mean. Just due to it's like how the Red Bull is just built in this game, and also in real life. So I think Black Phoenix might take this win. I don't know why. It's very bold to say though, just on the formation lap, but I just have that feeling that Black Phoenix could potentially pull a win out of this race. Because Free Goes is in McLaren. I'm not too sure how the McLaren is in this game on realistic, because I haven't done realistic in a long time, but I have a feeling we might see a little battle like near the end between these three drivers, AMS as well. It's the Ferrari. Not too sure, but I think Black Phoenix might take the win.
I will
But
say,
I don't
right,
want to jinx it. I do not want to jinx it just yet, but that's my prediction just now.
the
It might
McLaren.
change.
Sorry. just
Oh
for
no, it's
re-
all good, you can continue.
yeah, sorry, just for reference, the Red Bull, of course, is the second quickest car on this game, but the McLaren is the 5th fastest, so it's the middle pack car, effectively. of this game. So, be very interesting to see. But as we now line up onto the grid, can we wait for the drivers? As we see the Williams and the Mercedes now lining up at the back of the grid. Come on, can we get a better camera view, please, rather than a drone?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
As we're going to have to go with this one. Here we go. As we now head to 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. It's a very good start from the McLaren of 3 gloves. But very interesting, going 3 wide down to turn 1. Going 3 wide between the 3 there. Oh, as the race point is round. Oh, that is... He got saved by Ugi Azim there. But it's very, very tight between the back there. Very interesting to see. Oh, going 3 wide, and there's damage. Safety car. They haven't
there's a lot of 5s being handed out.
There is. We haven't even made it to the end of Sector 1, and we have got a safety car. Most drivers here have all got damage. Let's have a look. So Duo Finn has got away with nothing. Dino looks like no damage. Skeven has got damage. Will is fine. Sam has got damage. Dre Bay has got damage. Ugi Azim has got quite a lot of damage, missing both end plates off that AlphaTauri. Haas missing an end plate. This is not very good at all for the drivers outside the top 10 right now.
I'm not too sure what happened at the start. It looked like a Ferrari. I think it was... Well, it was a Ferrari and a Racing Point. I'm not too sure what happened to them, but I saw Ferrari go a little bit too wide, and then his rear just got snagged, and then he just fell into the middle of the rest of the cars, and then safety car. But not too sure what happened on the start, but safety car just before even Sector 2 even got there.
Yeah.
Safety car, so Sam T getting that 5-second and a wing damage, it's not going to help him too much. It's gonna
as I'm just gonna
a little bit more difficult.
As Big C has said in the chat, hard to the end is possible. So could we see drivers pit in and go on the hards to the end now? 3 gloves does stay out. Will Black Phoenix do same? Yes. AMS top 3 staying out. Cedric does pit in. Most likely we'll see more drivers follow him in, because quite a lot of drivers out here have got damage, but Cedric is putting on the medium tyres. So that's going to be interesting, as we now see a train in the pit lane.
Jeez.
Most teams now coming out into the pit box.
Trying to see who's got damage as well as Sam T. So the AlphaTauri, Ugi obviously had his
Skeven, Pitmat, Drebe, Dino, Ugi and Sam all got damage.
I think it might have just been a little bit of confusion between the drivers, just due to the fact that you wouldn't really see a safety car just pop up that quickly in a race, especially just off turn 1 and 2, and then boom, safety car. So I'm guessing just a few of them were in a little bit of a flow, and then just a little bit of taps and collisions just happened when they had to slow down, because the safety car delta time is completely broken.
It is.
So a little bit too tight drive through.
We only made it to turn 5. That is very, very poor. I will say so myself. Drivers make it to turn 5, where then we get a safety car. So very interesting. Well, most likely safety car will be in next lap, as we do have to wait for Sam to catch up to the back of the safety car. But most drivers have stayed out. So the likes of Joe Finn, Will, Greeny, Tom, AJ, Cherry Tupai, B-Boy Worm, CC Brain, Nano Bacon, AMS, Black Phoenix and 3 Gloves have all stayed out. But could we see drivers actually come in now to fit another set of tyres? Because of course you lose a lot less time when under safety car, but is it worth risking it and dropping down the positions, as Singapore is a very notorious track to not be it's very hard to get past unless you're in the DRS straights, because running side by side you're so close to the walls that either driver could come out with their slightest bit of damage, because it's so easy to get lime green damage around here that we don't know what will happen. But Three Gloves is looking at the pit lane there, but he chooses not to go in. Black Phoenix follows suit, does not. Nano Bacon as well. CC Brain stays out. B-Boy Worm, Cherry Pie, Tom AJ does pit in, taking this opportunity to pit in right now. But he seems to be the only driver to now do it, as everybody is staying out, so he will drop to the back of the field, but he is most importantly putting on the hard compound. So could we see Tom going to the end now? So that could be very interesting, couldn't it be, Delta?
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it'll be interesting to see what the drivers can do, especially with the tyre saving if it can't go to the end. But obviously, like Big C did say in the chat, or Connor, you could call him, said that they go to the end. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes near the end with the drivers, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, very much so. But this safety car period should hopefully end very soon.
I was surprised it didn't actually come in, because I thought Sam T caught up, but then Tom's just stuck on tyres now, so we've had to wait an extra lap. But I hope we can get back to racing, because I want to see how these drivers do now, because obviously it's like a second starter, because we literally just got to turn 5 and then boom. So I just want to watch racing, see how these drivers do.
Yeah, we certainly want a race and an actual Grand Prix, not a safety car Grand Prix. But obviously, yet again, I'm going to say this now, Mercedes getting jealous, of course, not being at the front of the field, had to put out the safety car, because of course they had to lead the Grand Prix at some point. So they chose to do it right now. But safety car is in this lap, obviously. Bert Mylander will pull in, and it will be now Three Gloves who is the safety car leader, and McLaren Renault as the safety car.
So let's hope no safety cars or anything happens just on the exit. That's what we can pray for.
Very much so. But I'm going to go on board with Black Phoenix to see when Three Gloves does restart this Grand Prix. He seems to have gone slightly now, but of course he's going to have to back off because the safety car still is not in the pit lane.
He's going to have to slow it down just a little bit more. It's not in yet.
Safety car is now in the pit lane as Three Gloves does go. Gets a very good start compared to Black Phoenix, who was caught napping. A second already built, but AMS is on the back of Black Phoenix, but it's very close back here between the Ferrari and the Mercedes, going side by side, going into turn 1. Who will stick the line? The Mercedes tries to hold it round the outside, but backs out of it, and the Ferrari does make the move. But we also do see Ugi and Dino, or is that Dre Bay? It looked like it was Dre Bay a bit there, but Sam T is now over the back of that Williams. Could we see Sam go for a move now, coming out of turn 5, catching right to the back of that diffuser dash gearbox of that race Williams? Did not go side by side with him. Turn 6, now into turn 7. Can he hold his move? Yes, he does. As Skeven now pops in behind Sam, who does lock up going into turn 7. But very interesting because it's very close between the drivers right now. But the main battle seems to be happening in the lower part of the field, which is very interesting. But now,
yeah, I think that Three Gloves just caught a lot of people sleeping just due to that safety car restart. 1.5 seconds.
now 1.6. But Cedric is right over the back of Will, who is also right over the back of the Alfa Romeo Greeny. But could we see Cedric go for a move now, being in the Ferrari, being a much faster car than that Williams? But no, he does not. He's choosing to stick behind us. Ugi and Dino are fighting side by side. Who's going to come out ahead? Oh, side by side going to there, but Ugi comes out ahead. But as we now say, Dre Bay, as Ugi, Duofin gets a 3-second time penalty. But it's very close, going side by side, going through here now. Very clean from the drivers, I will say. Fair play, fair play.
A lot of respect was shown just between them both. I wasn't expecting the Mercedes to actually give him the space to come back in, because he would have just got done off there, but he actually did. He let off the gas and let him past to prevent a collision. So
now Cedric is having a look on the Williams going into turn 1. Can he hold his line? Yes, he can. And that Williams is now behind.
oh, there's Sam T just smashed into the wall. He's got a little bit. Thought he got damaged there, but he's going side by side with the Mercedes driver.
Oh,
No, but there's
Duofin,
sector one and it's
Duofin.
the other Mercedes.
He is round.
I didn't
No
actually see what
damage,
happened.
no damage on that Mercedes, luckily, but that is going to be very painful. But it's very close here at the back, fighting for, what is it, P14. But
Yeah, Sam T only just got past after the exit of turn one. He lost it in the wall, but he didn't get damage, which is good for him. So that would have even made the race even more worse for him. But he did dominate off that wider line though with the McLaren against Dino and Skeeven.
but it's very close between Greeny and Cherry right now. Going down into the tight right-hander. But it's getting very close right now between the field. As it's gone from being the back of the pack that's been very tight to now being mid-pack. But we are also starting to see some gaps forming. Because look at Three Gloves, as you said, he has caught everybody napping. Now 1.9 seconds between him and Black Phoenix. As DRS has been enabled finally, 3 laps later than it should have been, that is. But overtake is enabled, as we do see yellow flag. Is that Sam?
It's Sam.
Sam's got his no front wing. That McLaren. Oh dear.
Did not lose it in the pit lane. And he lost it in the pit lane.
He has purposely crashed out in the pit lane, and we have got a virtual safety car.
Oh. Series of Joe Finn's pitting. Sticking on the softs actually, it's interesting.
Very interesting. But Sam T crashing out on purpose. I wouldn't class that as retiring in the pit lane, would you?
No, not really, no. Because he technically didn't actually get it into the pit lane, he got it outside the lane.
Is the McLaren team okay?
On track.
I'm just going to say this now, is the McLaren team okay? They just came out the pit lane, and there's no car there, they're now going back into the pit lane.
They're just like, we'll leave him there, we'll just leave him there, he can push the car himself.
Yeah, Sam.
Just for him doing that, he can get the car.
Your fault, sort it out yourself, as we now go back under green flag racing. Three Gloves now got a 2.5 second gap to Black Phoenix, as has CC Brain. Oh no, sorry, that was me being stupid there, but I thought CC Brain then got a drive through, but Black Phoenix has got quite a bit more ERS than Three Gloves, sorry. I almost said Black Phoenix twice, which wouldn't have been very good. But now CC Brain is over the back of Nano Bacon. Them softs might be starting to struggle, so medium tyres are starting to come in handy. But very close. As we now see Nano Bacon is pitting in off of them soft tyres. What will they put on? Be interesting to see. But very close right now, so I'm going to go on board with Cedric, who is right on the back of this pack right now. 4-car battle for P5. So we've got Racing Point, Haas, Alfa Romeo and Ferrari. So 3 Ferrari powered cars against a Mercedes powered cars. Well, say Mercedes powered, a Mercedes W10 to be exact.
Dino's pitting for some odd reason.
That's...
I'm not too sure if he has damage. Yeah, he does. He has damage again during a VSC as well. Because before the VSC, he didn't actually have any damage whatsoever.
Interesting, but Oogie has got past Will.
This is getting close between Worm, Cherry, and Greeny, and the Ferrari of Cedric. They've just been in a constant train for these laps, so one of the drivers is going to have to capitalise when they see one driver make an error between them. That's what they're doing. They're waiting, because Singapore is all about the waiting game.
Oh, Cedric tapped into back of Greeny there, locking up as well. That could have cost him. Oh, and also missing a gear upshift there. Starting to back off a bit from that Ferrari, losing a bit of time there. But it's also very close between the drivers now, all separated with a slightly equal gap, the top 3, with Cedric a slightly bigger gap after that mistake. It's very interesting to see. Cherry looked at a move there on B-Boy Worm. Very interesting.
Interesting the Haas as well. He's still keeping up. Does lose the time on the exit still compared to that Mercedes engine.
AMS has pitted in. AMS has pitted in. Same with B-Boy Worm. Seeing Black Phoenix has also pitted in. So of course the gap to first and second now is 5.5 seconds. Can we see CC Brain at all try and catch Three Gloves, who is on them softs? So them softs of course going to have a lot less wear than the mediums, but it's very close. They seem to be very equally matched right now, but Three Gloves still holding out an edge now, of course being in the faster car. But as CC Brain has actually brought it back a bit, but yet again is too close to call right now. But very close to call right now. But there seems to be no battles on track right now. But
yeah, it will just be a waiting game, like I did say earlier. This track is just about the waiting game. You just want to make sure, keep yourself behind the car, and if they go for an error, or if you see them make an error, you just gotta go for it. Obviously, not just dive bomb it and almost killing yourself and the driver. Just be patient. But yeah, it's just a train right now. Lap 8. It's just a little bit of a train between the drivers. Nothing really going on, but there's only one overtaking place I could see them do it, and that would be either at turn 1 or the DRS after turn 5.
can I just quickly comment? CC Brain in that last sector has taken 8/10 out of Three Gloves. So maybe Three Gloves trying to get the overcut hasn't worked out as much as possible. Could we see CPI Black Phoenix jump him in the pit lane? Maybe the overcut has not worked as well as he thought.
Even 3-second time penalty.
But of course now Three Gloves is coming down the pit lane.
This will be close.
It's going to be very close as Black Phoenix is now coming round the final corner with Nana Bacon ahead of him. As we now see Three Gloves now coming out the pit lane. Black Phoenix is going to be a lot closer than he was before. Very much so.
Almost got him. Yeah, basically just caught him up there. So it's not worked too well for him there. It's not got a gap that he was expecting to do. And he's got the DRS now.
Very much so. This gives me right now, this is giving me Seb and Charles vibes. The fact that one pitted before the other, and that now one is right over the back of each other. Of course, Charles got very annoyed by this. Of course, Black Phoenix did not jump Three Gloves, but still very interesting to see. As Jofin gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I will comment, the Mercedes are very close to each other right now.
It's getting super close between Cedric and Cherry right now. Really, really close. At some points, he's even at Cherry's gearbox. At some point, it's a little bit of snap oversteer there. And Cherry.
I would also like to comment, another reason why I can say this is 2019, we have got an Alfa Romeo leading the Grand Prix. That happened in real life in 2019 with Antonio Giovinazzi. So could we see
almost
a Ferrari?
It's almost realistic.
Yeah, it is. So that means, could we see a Ferrari win this Grand Prix at some point? Interesting. CPI Black Phoenix does get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but very interesting. As now, will Cedric go for a move on Cherry 2 Pie? Cherry 2 Pie right now just a sitting duck, as also Uki goes for a move on Greeny. 2 overtakes going into the same into one corner, so Cedric getting past Cherry and Uki getting past Greeny. Very interesting there.
Yeah, you can see the pace of Cedric starting to come alive on them mediums. He passed Cherry, obviously just due to the fact that he's in a Ferrari and the Cherry's in a Haas, but they're both Ferrari powered cars, so there wouldn't be that much of a difference in performance between them both.
It's very close. We've got another 5th place battle going on. We've got Dre Bay, Greeny and Pierre One Will very close. Oh, Greeny has made a mistake. Green's made a mistake going into the tight right-hander there.
That was close. That was very, very close from Greeny there.
Could have lost a position there. But yet again, drivers getting very close to that outside wall because the cars are interesting. As B-Boy Worm is right at the back. The racing points are dueling. Otmar Zafnauer right now will be very scared. probably chewing his nails because this is very close. And I don't know why I said chewing, I meant biting his nails. Don't question me.
It sounds like he's already betting it then, if he's chewing it.
Yeah. As we now see, they're getting very close between the two. As we do see Nano Bacon is pitting in with damage.
He went white there. B-Boy Worm actually burnt a lot of ERS to try to get around Nano, but
As
then
B-Boy Worm gets a penalty.
Oh, he activated the overtake just on the exit. Some people do forget to turn off the overtake button though, mid corner. It just makes the car just slide like mad, but Nano's fixing wing damage again. I think he had damage before as well, but
as we do see, Dino has got a 3-second time penalty added onto the end of his race. But it's very spaced out right now.
Yeah, it's starting to space out a little bit, but the gap between CC Green and Cedric is starting to close. I was keeping an eye on that. It was 2.9 and now 2.6. It's varying between the 2.6 range 2.5. So maybe in a couple laps, or maybe even just this lap coming up, you can see a little battle for the
Charity
P1.
Pie. 3-second time penalty. Sorry to interrupt there a bit, but it's getting to that point in the race where the drivers are starting to slack off because of the tyre wear and everything, and they will start getting these penalties coming through. But still, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens as Three Gloves has closed up the gap to Skeven by quite a lot, because it's not a few laps ago it was at 7.5 seconds, now it's only 2 seconds. But the Black Phoenix gap has been extended again, because of course they were very close when Three Gloves first came out of the pit box. But now Black Phoenix being yet again 2 seconds, as PR1 Will has got past Greeny. Obviously, the mediums are now starting to go off, like the softs were earlier on in this Grand Prix.
It's very interesting why Geofin stuck them on. I would have recommended that he stuck on the hards if he's that far back, and then they just have to hopefully get a safety car in his favour. But for how spaced out this is, obviously it's not too spaced out, but it's a little bit too spaced out for the drivers to go for an overtake right now.
It is.
This track.
Oh, Skeven!
Who's that?
Skeven.
Oh, it's Skeven! Please do not be a safety car.
Virtual safety car. Oh.
I almost jinxed it off one corner there, saying he'll need a safety car, but it's a VSC, so we're good.
We do not need another safety car in this Grand Prix, though it could liven things up. I don't want... well, personally, I don't want one, and I don't think the drivers want one. But yet again...
end the rhythm a little bit between the drivers right now and the tension for this P1, but the gap's closed for the VSC between Cedric and CC.
Very interesting, but I will say right now, as the safety... it has been going back to green flag racing now, but certainly interesting to see, because there's some drivers out there that probably, though we said that probably won't want safety car, that will want the safety car, because then they can put on the hard tyres and take them to the end. But then, Greeny's out.
Oh no!
Go on board Skeven, because we'll see what happens, because we'll be able to see what happens. Oh, Skeven's very close there. As Greeny has...
Oh, he's done a Sam T, and his wheels have gone. His whole wheel's gone.
As Skeven has retired in the pit lane as well.
Oh, it's
now that's
unfortunate.
3 retirees in this Grand Prix. Could we see a safety car up here? Looks like we will not, because...
Look at the gap. Cedric and CC Brain, 4 tenths. He's right on the back of him.
Very interesting.
So the gap has closed between them both. I would expect that to maybe get past them in time. But there's a yellow flag
Mercedes.
constantly, and that's
Geofin.
so at turn 1. There's another one up there at turn 1 right there.
That is just Skeven's AI. Skeven's AI. Reparking up the car, because of course, though you retire in the pit lane, the car will still drive out. As you do see Geofin now coming in the pit lane. Will Joe retire, or will they pit on and put new tyres and a new wing?
Sticking on another pair of softs and a new wing, so
very interesting.
He has done his second stop now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is. He's done his second stop. So the gap between Cedric and CC Brain's gotten a little bit closer. He's in the sending range. Can we see him go for it? Not yet. But he should get him through this straight though. Into turn 5 with DRS.
As we have got an oh dear in the chat. But now Cedric is going to look for a move on CC Brain heading into turn 7. Can CC defend it? No, we can't, but as we do have a yellow flag in sector 1, what is that all about? Seems like nothing. Seems like it was nothing.
A little bit of just a glitch. A little glitch.
Yeah, but as we do carry on, but CC Brain has lost position as we now have a Ferrari leading this Grand Prix. As I did predict that we could have a Ferrari winning this Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel, as you said, the god of Singapore.
Yeah, so if a Ferrari does win this race, it'd be pretty iconic because it literally did happen in F1. The Ferrari winning this exact race. So if it did come to that, just don't want to jinx just yet. It would be phenomenal.
It would definitely be phenomenal. As we now see Three Gloves looking at Tom AJ, but Tom AJ is also looking at Pitmat because of course Three Gloves is being held up by this on the medium tyres. Black Phoenix right behind him. Of course, this is just causing the gap to close between the two drivers. But it's now Tom AJ getting a little bit of a squirm there. Could he be looking though at a move on Pitmat as he now head towards the main straight as AMS has left the session? Very interesting, as Ugi Azim is now past CC Brain, who is in the pit lane getting off of them mediums as Charity Pie follows suit. But now, could we see Tom AJ go for a move on Pitmat? Yes, we do. Going to turn 1, but Three Gloves has to sit back and watch this. But very good move from Tom there on the... Tom is on the hard tyres. Of course, Pitmat does need to pit in off of them mediums, but of course he is now holding up Three Gloves and Black Phoenix. Will Black Phoenix look for a move? But Three Gloves is definitely going to want to look for a move on Pitmat. Will Black Phoenix follow him through, or will he be sensible? No, he backs out of it.
I've sent AMS, the Ferrari driver, an invite, so he should be able to get back into his car and start racing again. But
hopefully.
Yeah. We'll disconnect. As you said, Bugmasters, let's just hope it was Bugmasters and he didn't just leave.
Yep, as we like to say, Bugmasters causing all issues for most people here. I mean, we're not wrong by saying it's
It'll be
Bugmasters.
EA next game, so I've been told that I will expect worse.
True. I mean, like, you might see a whole grid of Williams because you'll have to pay $9.99 just to get in the Mercedes. And that's just one car.
Little special bundle. Buy the tracks as well.
Yeah, well, I'll end up just doing league racing on Australia for the whole year.
89p to pick your driver number, or else you just get the default. Just 0.
Yeah,
they'll do something 0. Like that. They'll find any way to get a little bit of money on.
Pay $9.99 to change one tyre.
19p per tyre.
99p per tyre. As we do see two drivers in the pit lane, three drivers, sorry. Cedric, Drebe and Pitmat. As we do have Ugi leading this Grand Prix with the 13 lap old mediums. Currently the only one still on their mediums from the start of this Grand Prix, as AMS now is back in the session.
It's good to see.
But just as we said, we don't want to end up with that, having 99p just to change one tyre. Was there a mass disconnect? No, there was not. It was just one driver that disconnected. But yeah, everybody will end up being in the Williams. Everybody will have to pay just to change their tyres.
Well, it depends on the tyre compounds. If you want to get soft and get fastest lap, it's like £1.10.
Oh, not looking good. As I've now got a slight interval glitch, so I cannot see the distance between the drivers right now.
Yeah, it's the same for me. It'll take maybe just this lap for the telemetry to just fix itself.
But I'm going to go on board with Three Gloves, who is right at the back of Tom AJ, as I saw from the map. But looking for a move around the outside, but cannot make it done because Tom is still going to hold that position quite far. About 4/10, I'm going to put a guess in because, of course, no interval to tell me the exact number. But it's now going to be between 2 to 4/10 between them as they now head towards the main straight. Could we see Three Gloves go for a move? But, of course, Black Phoenix is taking this opportunity to catch up. But maybe a little bit of time lost there from Three Gloves to Black Phoenix. But Three Gloves now right in the back of Tom. Of course, going to look for a move to get past Tom AJ. But Ugi Azim still on them 14 lap old mediums.
He didn't get it done, surprisingly. I think he's just going to do exactly what I said, just do the waiting game, but CC Green, 3 second time penalty. I'm not sure how he got that, but...
Oh! Three Gloves gone into
he's
the
tapped
back!
the back of him. He's got damage.
Has he got damage?
I cannot see.
No, he
No,
has
he's not, he's
not.
fine.
But
I'm
he might,
surprised.
though, he might have
Very
lime green
surprised.
damage.
I'm very surprised, because that was a very big shunt from behind.
But
Not
now,
too sure if he just missed his braking point or anything, but...
very interesting. But Black Phoenix now has picked up from this, has caught up to the back of Three Gloves. Another funny joke to say, I know I shouldn't carry this on, but might have to pay 59p to try and go for an overtake.
50p to go for the overtake.
Yeah, as we see Three Gloves now back on the back of Tom AJ. Will he pay the 50p to get past him? Putting it into the slot now.
I'll just put my whole bank account in it just to get people on every single
Yeah, everybody here will end up going bankrupt before they even done lap 1.
So it costs 20 quid just to do last to first then. If it's £1 per overtake, it's 20 quid. That's with the bundle, that's with a bundle as well. If you want to get top 5, it's like 15.
That is just typical.
I am
That'll be
scared
typical.
now. If there's something that involves money, to the point it's a really stupid add-on, I'm not putting F1.
Ugi is pitting in now, but could be interesting to see. I don't know whether F1 2021 will be done by Codemasters or EA, but I think it might be done by Codemasters. Might be their final game that they make, but I just beg when it comes to EA taking over that they do not make us pay stupid prices, as now Tom AJ has been under threat from Three Gloves for a while now, but Three Gloves trying to go for the move. Tom AJ is just blocking him. He's being blocked.
That was close. Very good defending from Tom. It was very good defending. Defend the inside line and then just switch it to the outside just before the braking zone. Good from him. He was almost leaving himself vulnerable between B-Boy Worm. Worm has a good run up, but he's not going to go for it just yet.
As Dino gets a 3 second time penalty.
There's a couple trains at each sector, like near section, sorry, of the track. Do have PR1 Will, P1 actually, and the Williams. Fresh Hards, I think.
Yeah.
No, 17 laps, 17 lap old, so they should be able to go to the end. But Williams winning the race. That'd be one thing.
But Will has not pitted in yet. He's the only driver yet to stop in this Grand Prix. But as Alimonda has said, to be fair, there are already EA-like microtransactions in the F1 games. True, but another joke. Every time you get 3 warnings, rather than a 3 second time penalty, a £3 penalty.
Oof.
As now Three Gloves has been overtaken. Oh no, he's going in the pit lane. Well, that would be very interesting to see, because that's the sort of thing that EA would be tempted to do. We could have teams of the week. So, depending on who did well in the latest Grand Prix, we could see the likes of...
Oh, they'll make you pay money for the My Team stuff as well, like the drivers, and they'll do something like an online team v team, or something like that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they'll do that.
Or you'll get to the point of, like, if you're running low on money in my team, you can pay money to get... You can pay real money to get in-game money.
Manager mode would be pretty cool, if you get what I mean with that. Like, when you watch the race and you see how your driver does throughout the season, instead of you actually just having to race. It's the one thing that was bad about my team. Is that it was just basically like a career mode just with a multiplayer car. It's good to adapt it, but it was just a career car, just rebranded as a multiplayer car. How did we even get to this topic? I'm very confused with
I
the
don't
EA.
know.
I was trying to think where we're getting the 99p per tire in the pit lane from. It's because of Bugmasters, that's why. Because you said it's called Bugmasters, and I said it'll be worse when it's EA doing the games.
Yeah.
So it was a good topic to talk about. It's a good point. EA could make this game worse than it already is for people.
But yeah, again, we could see with EA, of course, making a lot of games that come under their class, like arcade, not arcade, but like that sort of games, as Alimonda said, dedicated service, classes, tracks, etc. There could be some good to come to it, but you are right, there could be good to come to it, because of course, one thing I was going to say, as Will has finally pitted off of them hards, what tyre will he go onto? Most likely the mediums, yes he will, but as I said, it could be interesting to see, because of course when making a lot of, as what would be classed as arcade games, as Black Phoenix does set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 38.996, we could see it actually becoming a sim game, because it'll be EA's proper first sim game, so could be very interesting. But the other day somebody was comparing F1 to ACC, which is a very different game. ACC is branded as a simulation. This isn't. This is a racing game arcade sort of thing.
I was just thinking that the only good benefit I could see, I put it in the chat there, like a history track pack, like it's like the old versions of certain tracks. That'd be the only cool thing. Like Monaco, you could have the old Monaco or something, have the old cars. I think that's the only thing that you could find people spending a lot of money on, is like other tracks, like tracks that are very exclusive, that weren't in like this game, they put it into the next game, but obviously pay for them. I guess that's the only thing I could possibly see that'd be a good profit for this game, is adding tracks, and obviously not these tracks, keep these free, but keep the exclusive ones to be paid for. Like Mugello, for example, or something like that. That would be amazing if they had that on this game.
Yeah, I'd love to see maybe in F1 2021 that if Codemasters, I think Codemasters last game will be, like I said, F1 2021, but it'll be certainly interesting that if they did bring out a DLC where you could play them tracks with the 2020 cars, for example, that would just be brilliant. Or whether you could use it with the 2020 cars or the 2021 cars, that would be one best thing, because you would see, personally in my opinion, I think that would be good for leagues to use it, as Jury Finn gets another 3-second time penalty. But it'd be very interesting to see what will happen with these tracks that were used last season that weren't put in the game. Of course, Codemasters most likely will, and I mean will, have to put in Imola now. Imola has been confirmed as round 2 of the 2021 season, and they're going to have to move Australia to later on in the season.
Yeah, 100%. It will be very interesting though, so I hope they do not ruin the next game, because 2019, in my honest opinion, has been better than this game, due to the glitches side. The gameplay, fantastic, but just the whole glitches side of it is just, it's like playing on a PS2 when it comes to the glitches with this.
Dino has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 38.556 in the Mercedes on the softs, so very interesting. But yeah, I get where you're coming from, because of course the tyre barriers, there's some that are really glitched to the point that if you tap them, you get stuck to them. And
yeah, it's very weird.
Was actually testing out one of the glitches with the tyre wall at Interlagos, that if you ram up it into another car, you get stuck on top of the barrier and you can't go anywhere unless that car moves. Certainly interesting, as we do see a yellow flag, and it's virtual safety car Dino.
Interesting. I think that was in the... What was that? Because it's not even on the map. I thought it was Geofin, but he's not even on the map. He's dipped. He's got the car and ran into the crowd.
As Geofin gets a 3-second time, a 5-second. If you do get a slight glitch there, nothing I would serve.
His bank account's going to be absolutely ruined right now.
If this was EA.
Yeah. Human Fish put a message in the chat.
Any game.
Any game on the yearly release cycle will be riddled with bugs. I mean, what's FIFA like these days with bugs? I've never played a FIFA, and I know that sounds as bad as it is,
I
but I've
haven't.
never really played a FIFA. I've heard that they're really bad with the glitches, but yeah, let's hope that it doesn't transfer over to this game. That'll be really bad if it does, because this game's already as bad as it is with the glitches. So let's just all hope that the next game is better than this.
Well, I've just had a bad thought while we're on board with B-Boy Worm on the back of Dre Bay. But instead of having the nice intro that we have, which is just like a video of like the F1 cars and like the 5 red lights, will we have the EA Sports, it's in the game intro?
Oh no.
That's
It'll
gonna
just be an opening meme.
Yeah,
It'll just be an opening meme.
yeah, it would just
Let me
be
just
like
open up F1.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's gonna sound weird. It's
It
gonna
is.
look weird as well.
We're gonna start it up and we're gonna be like, no, we're going back to the old games. Ignore
Only
this.
the OGs will know what Codemasters is by like 2025 or something, when it's still done by EA.
Oh yeah.
There was another company that was gonna buy the F1
Take
game.
Two.
I'm not too
Take
sure. Take-Two. Yeah, a few people were saying that they were going to be pretty good at making a game better than EA, but obviously EA secured the deal because they're minted.
Yeah. I think it's something like, it was a lot of money, it was in the billions that EA got Codemasters for. But of
Yeah,
course...
they're paying a lot just for this. But
Yeah.
the licenses and all that stuff as well, so I can see why. That's why Codemasters would have to stay, because they have the licenses. Unless EA are going to make their own F1 tracks with their own little F1 cars, that's the only way I could see it happening.
Yeah.
But
It's going to be very
we'll keep
interesting.
Codemasters.
I mean, it is going to be a shame to see them go, because
Oh yeah.
if it wasn't for them creating this game, League Racing... Well, not this game, I mean like 2010, 2011, 2012, all the way up to 2020... there wouldn't be League Racing. Oh, Charity Pie almost going in the wall there, but Will now right at the back of Charity Pie, and that Williams looking for a move, but Cedric is also right on the back of Tom AJ right now, as I'm gonna... Oh.
There's a lot of messages being put in the chat. I'm just looking at them to see if any of them have got. The cutscenes are super cheesy, but there are no charm to it. It does not take itself unlike EA, where it sometimes forgets it's a game and makes a career overcomplicated. No, it's one of them games. Alright, I get it. So it just does a cutscene and it just transfers into the career mode, so it's got no storyline, but it puts an unnecessary cutscene. Alright. 2019 was good for its career because it showed the F2 cutscene, and then that was it. It was just dead once you got into F1. There was no drama involved.
Yeah.
But onto the racing. Cedric just went
has
around the outside.
He's just gone right round the outside, but Tom is putting up a fight to this, turning in there on Cedric, and Cedric's almost half-spun by Tom, because Tom just not giving him the space.
They're trying to get our attention, saying, right, stop going on about the EA and watch this race. So they're tuning up a bit now. Keep us watching. Yeah, it's a very valid point what you guys are saying in the chat, and also you as well. You know, so the game could be a good or bad situation, depending on how they go with this. But the grid, though, going back to the grids, it's separated pretty much. You've got one train, and then you've just got the... Well, we've got 14 people, so we've had 4 DNFs, 24 fair one. It's not too bad for Singapore.
Yeah.
Ugi Azim under a second, just right behind Cedric, so Cedric's gonna get into the mix. Sorry, Ugi is gonna get into the mix with his teammate Tom, so this could look good for the AlphaTauri drivers.
AlphaTauri
1 and 2
question mark.
Both of them doing a Gasly right now. So either it's Vettel win the race, or a Gasly wins the race. But Tom's went up 8 positions so far this race.
So in reality here, we've got Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, Danica Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi in fourth, as we do see Ugi getting a slight drift on there. But now can we see Cedric go for a move on Tom AJ yet again? Tom AJ defending, but then goes for the late dive up the inside. Makes it work
Oh,
perfectly. That was a
teammate tapped him
perfect
as well.
move from Cedric. I've got a clap to that. He just, Danny Ricciardo dived him late on the brakes and just send it. Because of course, at first, duking Tom AJ going one way, but then also going the other. What a way to use your two moves going down the straight.
That was absolutely fantastic from him. I didn't expect that. I thought there was going to be they both just go straight on and then Ugi passed, but he planted his car in the right position, the right time. Now he's in the lead, so it's looking good. It's looking good between them both.
For some reason, every one message is going up between 2 and 7 messages, which is very funny. So,
what, on your stream?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even that much because I've had it on my tab just to keep an eye on it, and it's only like 12. The last message, it's Human Fish as well. It's talking. At least in PS, you can get the update pack for names, etc. Oh, is this about EA and all that stuff? Alright, yeah.
But yeah, very interesting. As Ugi Azim is hunting down after his teammate, but CPI Black Phoenix is now going for the move on CC Brain in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, that Red Bull being quicker by quite a lot, to be fair. But now it's a Honda 234 and a Red Bull 234, as we do have a yellow flag. Three gloves. Oh, no, it's not 3 gloves. Yeah, it is 3 gloves. Did he have a half spin or something?
I think he just lost that a little bit, but obviously just applied the power just as quickly as possible after that error. But yeah, I think it was a half spin because he lost a little bit of time. But Ugi Azim has gotten past his teammate Tom, so he did exactly where Cedric did it. So it's looking like Tom's very vulnerable for that one part of the track, but he's got Black Phoenix right on the back of him right now as well. So Tom's podium looks like it's fading away very slowly going through to this race. He's running a lot of ERS to keep the position where he's at, but sooner or later he will have to just use his raw defense to keep the Red Bull behind.
Yeah, very much so. So, like I was saying, in reality, if we think about this, because AlphaTauri are no longer the junior team, Red Bull did announce earlier on the season that they have become sister teams. So we have got a Red Bull 234 right now, also a Honda powered 234. Of course, back in Japan they're going to be very happy that their engines are pushing the cars to get these positions. But
yeah, 100%, yeah. But Vettel looks like he's leading though. The Sebastian Vettel of Cedric.
Yeah,
the Sebastian Vettel of Cedric. He won right now in the red car, as Vettel likes to call it, the red car. Not the Ferrari, the red car.
The red car. Red spells danger, as Sebastian Vettel would also say.
How does Juno manage to get lapped by everyone? I don't know.
Mercedes.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Mercedes not having another good day. Of course, turning the engine down again. Doing another Abu Dhabi. Well, of course, look, Black Phoenix is going to go for a move on Tom AJ round the outside. Can he make that move stick? But Tom AJ is just forcing him out wide. CC Brain's going to follow. CC Brain's following through.
Oh! And he's got it stuck. They're still going. Tom got that extra speed just in time.
Tom's just going to...
He's peeking for it, though.
As now PR1 went through because Tom AJ was about to force CC into the wall. Tom AJ being very aggressive.
Willis caught up a very good gap though for him being on P1 and then having to pit. So he's went up a pretty good few positions. Just got the gear up there. Keeping a gap on Ugi and Cedric. It's 2.5.
CC Brain tapped the back of Will.
Oh, Cherry free.
Cherry Pie has got past 3 gloves.
Yeah, it was almost a wall. It was almost the McLaren on the wall moment right there, but
I'm sorry,
3 goals kept it out.
I'm gonna have to comment on what Big C said. I don't know how he's still going, to be honest. Like a little dog needs putting down. That's a bit of a that's a bit of a comment to say. That well, if they're giving up on their life, they might as well give up and let them out of their pain and misery. Well, I mean, like,
It
they
just
might
came
as
out as
well.
usual. I almost donated to the stream there instead of typing. Jeez. That wouldn't have been good. Saying that I wouldn't, I almost just put £100 into the donation there for PSGL. And I was in a message, but Tom, Will's actually got past Tom. I thought it was the other way around. But Will's gotten past Tom. Interesting. It's looking like Tom's, like I said just a lap ago, he's so vulnerable for that one part of the track. But the gap is closing between Cedric and Ugi. It was just 2.5, but it's dropping and dropping more. It's 2 seconds on the dot. Obviously, Ugi is on the fresher mediums. He's on the hards, so the hards will take a while to get into their prime condition. Compared to the mediums, they'll be warmed up in like 5 laps.
Yeah, very much so. But Williams up in P4. Could we see the Williams? Most likely unrealistic, but could we see the Williams catch up to the Red Bull?
If it does, this is like George getting a pole position in Bahrain by like a thousandth against Bottas. If it happens, it's not going to make any sense. A Williams beating a Red Bull in its prime condition can't be.
As we, according to the PS4, Sector 2, that is Joe.
Oh, it's Jude.
He's round again. I think Big C's right. I think
He's not giving up though. He's not giving up.
They might want to put him out of his misery, as according to the PS4, we have 244 messages, and when in reality we don't.
I swear we have like 3 or something. Wait, I'm gonna do a really quick count. So how much did you say?
Pardon, what were you saying?
How many messages did you say?
I don't. Hold on, me. 245 messages. As Three Gloves has got past Tom AJ. So the pole man has gone from being leading this Grand Prix to being down in P6.
I think it's like 50. It's in its 50s. It's not in its 200s. It's not that insane. But Geofin's slotting in his little coin, coming into the slot machine, aka the pit lane.
Yep.
Is he going to
pay?
retire?
Oh, that's the medium, so that's going to be £1 a tyre. That will be. And for the wing, that's going to be what, £2? Would you say, according to EA?
Yes.
£2. So God, that's going to be an expensive pit stop for him. Gonna have to cough up a bit of money there. Don't know what that is.
Geofin has been lapped now.
Twice.
Well, 2 times I think. Or yeah, twice. Unfortunately, that's very unfortunate. But he is running no assists, so I'm guessing he's got an excuse.
Yeah, he's lapped 2 times to the leader, but Nano Bacon has also lapped him. So that's very I think, as Big C say, I don't want to be cruel or anything, but I can agree with maybe it's time to let the old girl down, the Mercedes.
He's not giving up though. He spins, puts it back on track, and then just keeps going. It's some dedication right there. He's wanting to finish this race. But Pip, Matt, and J Ray B, no, that's just for 11th. And then you've got Cherry and Tupai, Cherry and Tom. Cherry gonna go round the outside.
Yeah, he did. The Haas driver's gone round the outside. Freaking moves there. As we do see, Duofin is gone off again. So he's almost been lapped twice by the whole field.
Wait, who?
Duofin.
Oh! And Pit Matt! He tapped the back of J Ray and he just drifted round the chicane there. Good save from him though. J-Ray turned into a little bit of a drifter with the Renault. He literally drifted it.
As I said in qualifying, it's not Formula Drift, guys. Come on, it's Formula 1. Can we stop with the drifting? If you're going to drift, do it in your spare time.
Let's go on Dirt Rally.
Go on Dirt Rally or go on to Car X Drift or whatever it's called. But as we do see, the Red Bull is right with the back of the AlphaTauri right now. Of course,
It'll still be
AlphaTauri
interesting.
being its clothing brand. so
Oh
we,
yeah, that's
so
the
we've
only
got an
thing.
energy drink versus clothes right now.
This is the last lap as well. I've
It
just
is.
completely forgotten about that. So this will be
As Cherry Pie is
interesting.
going for the move on B-Boy Worm, they're going side by side. As Cherry's in the
Oh,
wall!
he's winning the
Cherry's
wall.
Cherry's in the wall with damage as well. Cherry will
Almost out the points.
almost out the points, but still is in the points, luckily. But I'm going to go on board with Black Phoenix, who is right close to the AlphaTauri ahead, both on similar ERS charge, but very interesting to see. Can we see a late last minute move from Black Phoenix? Not using his O-take, so
fair enough. This will be down to the wire, but I think the Ferrari does have this in the bag. The prediction went completely away from what I said.
yeah.
Well, it depends if this is provisional, if a report comes in between these three. But I don't think it would be, because it's looked completely fine for them. But Vettel coming through the last corner now.
Yep.
Wins.
As we do have a Ferrari winning the Grand Prix, Yuki Azim in the AlphaTauri taking second ahead of the Red Bull. Then we will have a Williams finishing P4. Claire Williams,
That's
no,
some
sorry, not
phenomenal
Claire
stuff
Williams
right there.
anymore. Simon Roberts is going to be going mental right now. We'll see Tom AJ finishing P6, B-Boy Worm 7th, CC Brain 8th, AMS 9th, Cherry Dubai crossing the line in 10th, Dre Bay finishing in P11. Will we see Pit Matt get him on the line with penalties? No, as now we'll see Nano Bacon coming round the final corner to be the final finisher on track and finish this Grand Prix. Well, that was a interesting race to say the least.
It was a very, very exciting race, I must say. Obviously, I did miss a little bit of the quality, but the race was even more better. A lot of battles going on. It was a very, 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 very exciting race.
Very much so. But as we do see, a Ferrari has won this Grand Prix. Something that every Tifosi fan loves to see. Then we've also got another Italian team on the podium of AlphaTauri, and then third, the Austrian team of Red Bull. So we have got Ferrari, we have got a clothing brand, and we have got an energy drink brand all on the podium. Very interesting to see.
Now, once this stream ends, they'll have to pay. They'll have to pay because we'll turn into EA. We'll make them pay for every single stream.
Yeah.
80p per stream.
80p per stream, plus it's another £1 just to leave the lobby. To be afraid, I'm sorry. But if you disconnect now, guys, you're going to have to pay £2. But if you wait till we get back into the lobby, it'll only be £1. But it's certainly been an interesting race tonight, with Cedric taking the win, Uki Azim taking second, and CPI Black Phoenix tonight. But yeah, I've got nothing to say. That was a brilliant Grand Prix. PR1 will stunning driving that Williams to take P4. Oh, Tom AJ is going to have to cough up £2. Sorry. Same with CC Brain. Certainly going to be interesting to see. But
we will have another banger though next week, which will be USA.
Oh, USA is a very good track. So we'll have another very exciting race next weekend. But that's all from me.
Same with me.
Thanks for watching. This has been PSGL FP Singapore, Round 8 in Season 27. See you next week at USA.